Everybody, it's Sharif right here with We Buy Black. We are live again, another beautiful day in New Africa, August. Today is the 9th day. This is our 9th webinar. As you all know that we're gonna have a webinar every day. That's our promise to you all, every day for free to our community, so that we all could tune in and to get information on how we can build for our community and for our life. That's what New Africa represents. New Africa is a physical manifestation for our community's collective desire to do for ourselves and to be completely independent so that we may be in position to help do for the whole world. So today, I have two beautiful brothers with us. First, I would like to introduce Bilal Hassan, who will co-host this webinar with me. Bilal is the executive director of New Freedom Exchange Podcast. Here, they talk about building New Africa. They talk about economic development, and he bring on different individuals to be able to give light to that. And then also we have our brother, my friend, Trinidad James. We welcome you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. American songwriter, hip hop artist. A lot of you all know him, know his work. But there's a lot that we may not know about him that I would like for him to speak on today. I got to learn about our brother a little bit more intimately and his passions for our community and for building our community. And he has a strong philosophy behind doing for ourselves and buying black, so much so that he released a recent song that talked about buying black. It's titled Black Owned. And he made some strong claims on it, essentially that we will never be free until we buy black. So we have our brother with us. Where you at, Trinidad? Where you at right now, man? Look good out there.
I'm in Los Angeles, brother. I'm in Los Angeles, fighting that fight. I'm actually at this black-owned brand from Danville, Virginia, but they're based out of LA called Brownstone. I'm at their studio now. Just learning. We're having a little, later we're going to have like a little family dinner, got a few other just black entrepreneurs over here right now. And I like learning from them, man. They're a little younger than me and, they keep me young. And I just like learning from black designers because black designers is the reason why I would make black owned. I didn't really make many friends in rap when I was coming up. Okay. I got a lot of respect for and from all my other artists and contemporaries and stuff like that. But the people I actually made friends with were all designers and fashion and stuff like that. And, I started to realize man, I spent a lot of money with people that weren't black for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's a lot I had to learn in that because it wasn't many of us that was designing at a quality and taste level like our other races. Yeah. So we didn't have the resources. We weren't getting the look that we needed to really put it out there. Oh man, it is cool to wear black owned brands. You know what I'm saying? It makes me happy in my soul when I could wear hat, jacket, shirt, socks. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Shoes that's all black owned or black design. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been through years and years of spending all this money that's not black and got nothing to do with black, just taking, Wow. So that is I'm in LA, man. I would have to answer your question, man. And happy to be here.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. That's what you just said is, of course me and you talk, but the world need to hear that. There's so many different, hip hop artists in general within our community that take their dollar and then empower everyone else but themselves. It's not even a part of the language, so not only are you talking about it, but you actually practice that. And that's
man, trying, brother, trying.
But you're making the effort, bro. Some people don't even make the effort. You know what I'm saying? Some people, we have to realize that everyone comes into their own, growth and maturity through certain points of their life. So for you, you just admitted that I threw away my money to these individuals that they had little care about my people. It wasn't going to no community development. It wasn't going to nothing. I was all, because I remember when you first came out, All Gold on My Chain. I remember that record. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that, I was like, okay, is he going to be the usual trap artist? You know, the usual artist from Atlanta who, you know, they got all the gold, all the chains and everything else, but like it's just artificial. And when I realized that, you know, I haven't heard from you in a minute. So when Sharif said that you dropped a song, I honestly haven't heard the song yet. I honestly, I'm gonna be very honest, you know, and I will listen to it, you know, but you know, I see that you kind of went, I don't want to say you kind of left the game. So I just, before I ask a question in reference to that, I want us to peer back a little bit and for you to give the listening audience just a little bit information background about you, you know, and I'm saying, you know, who you are, you know what I'm saying, in terms of who is Trinidad James and who are you, you know.
And the reason why that's so important, because a lot of people, you know, especially when you make this transformation, this is a great transformation, right? So we want to know, was it just all you? Was it your upbringing? Was your circumstance? Like, we know that even in your name, you know, Trinidad, you from Trinidad and Tobago. So we know that maybe it may have been something to do with your upbringing, you know, parents, you know, moving and having to move to different places and coming here and settling here. And then the experiences that you went throughout life. How has that shaped you, you know, to be who you are, to take this stance? Because we know when you take a stance like this, not everybody gonna be in favor of you.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. You know, as you know, coming into the game so strong, like I came into it. You know, I didn't come in with any mentors. I didn't come in with any past experience. Like, my success came fast, and like I started doing something, and the success came from it. And I don't have any regrets for that, because, you know, the universe don't give you something that you don't deserve for the most part, really. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people just don't take care of their blessing. With every blessing, I've always said that all our blessings are already on a calendar. You just got to make it to that date. You know what I'm saying? So when, you know, it's kind of like the stars aligning at the right time, and that allowed me to, you know, learn. You know, when people, you know, when people miss the times that people missed me from the game, you missed me from that light or whatever, a light that I didn't fully understand. In order for me to have true longevity, I have to understand what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I took that time in between my starting success to this day now to be able to have my true own voice. You know what I'm saying? Because All Go Everything, that became a voice of just society or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's a perspective of a black man. You know what I'm saying? But my personal voice and the things that matter to me, you know, is all stemmed back from, like, well, I've worked every job up under the sun, from a waiter and a cook at Waffle House, landscaping, back room at JCPenney, sales associate, stylist. I mean, you name it, I've done it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've had my time hustling in the streets. I've done it all. You know what I'm saying? So I have a really interesting perspective before I ever got into music of real life, because the entertainment business is like a fantasy world. I always tell people it's like a fantasy world.
There we go.
The real life, the people that go and the civilians that touch ground and do work their 9 to 5 all the time, those are the people that have the real idea of life. That's real life. People that work in real 9 to 5s and stuff like that, that's real life, because they're the ones that really get affected by things that happen. Even now, if you look at it from the standpoint of when we look at the Black Lives Movement that's happening now because of certain things or whatever, and the way that the government is handling certain situations, the people that tend to suffer the most are the people that are working 9 to 5s or whatever. Like the 1,200 that people are getting thrown or whatever, they need more than that. Like, how are they going to survive? They don't make songs for, you know, millions of dollars, thousands of dollars and stuff like that. Like, they're not fortunate yet enough to have a successful, you know, We Buy Black type of website, you know, to put the dedication in to have something that has paid you back. It's just, our opportunities has been very weird. So, you know, obviously I had to come into the game and just learn. And that's what I did. You know, my background, you know, I was born in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I came over here as an immigrant. So survival makes you selfish, because you got to survive for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to survive for you. You got to survive. I got to survive for my mother. You know, so that's how I came up. no green card. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get my green card till later in my life. You know what I'm saying? Every step leading up to that was a tough one, a very, very tough one. So, you know, when I got the opportunity to jump into the game, you know, off from the beginning, you realize there's a lot of choices you get to make. There's a lot of forks in the road when you jump into the game. And you got to figure out which one is best for you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, everybody will tell you, you know, like, man, you need to keep making this or you need to keep doing that or whatever. But if that is not all that you have to offer, then you got to figure out, well, how do I showcase to the people that I care about and the people that want to grow with me what I actually really want to say to them. And so I used the time in between everything. That came out in 2012 of October. The visual, should I say, because that's when things really kicked off. When people seen the video of Trinidad James, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So that time in between that, like you said, Bilal, was like, you know, you were missing. That I was in my temple working. You know what I'm saying? Working on my craft, working on myself as a man, because if me, the man, is not right, then me, the artist, is conflicted. And I didn't want to be conflicted. I whatever every day waking up conflicted. I went through a few years in the beginning of my career conflicted, trying to figure out, because I felt like I had my life way more in order before I got into the game, because money didn't mean the reason for me to have my life in order. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been able to have a happy life before music and being on top of taking care of my mother, taking care of my friends, you know what I'm saying, before the entertainment business. The entertainment business just opened up just a new portal. Like, new opportunities, the bigger picture. It allowed me to see myself on a bigger level. I got into music to start my own Black-owned sneaker company. Because at the time, 9 years ago, or whatever, it wasn't many, if any. You had the flight clubs and stuff like that. They weren't Black-owned.
Right, correct.
You know what I'm saying? In Atlanta, Sharif, you know, like you had Isom, who owned Athlete's Foot and stuff like that back then. Like, he sold up all his companies. So it wasn't really many Black-owned sneaker stores or whatever. It's especially for the taste level that I had. So, you know, me getting into music, it stemmed from that. And then also from the standpoint of the Korean guy that I was working for, I realized that I was kept making him all this money and taking care of, allowing him to now jump into another chapter so that he could chase his dreams while I'm working and building up his first baby or whatever. And I realized that I would never be able to jump into another chain and do my own thing. So I always wanted to have my own Black-owned business. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in music, since I was so new in it or whatever, you got to work on your craft. You got to work on your craft. You got to work on your craft. So I used every single day of my life, and still now, everything I do is me working on my craft. Everything, learning from this, picking from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be something that you say, Bilal, and I'd be like, oh, man, that's a bar. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could flip that into a song. Like, everything that I do is dedicated to the craft. And so I feel comfortable now coming into 2020. Like, my album comes out this Friday. It's called Black Filter. I had that name. We came up with that name last year. I already had all these things that people see. Like, I had these videos shot already. These things were already things that I was going to do, whether we were in this pandemic, whether, you know, the George Floyd RIP situation that went down. These are already things that this is my mindset was at. You know what I'm saying? And those are some of the things that kind of like triggered that, you know. Also, I watched the interview with Kendrick Lamar and Rick Rubin. I was working on a movie set for a movie I got a chance to do in 2017. And Kendrick Lamar was talking to Rick Rubin about To Pimp a Butterfly and what that meant to him, that particular album, because that album came after Good Kid, Mad City. And it was a completely different vibe than the Kendrick that you know what I'm saying? Like, and some people slept on it, me being one of those people when it initially came out. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was like a 2015 release, you know, and after watching the interview and understanding why he did it or whatever, it kind of put me in the mindset of like, you know, as a Black artist, you deserve to let your people know where you stand and what your culture means to you or whatever. And a lot of times when you go this route, It's tough. Or whatever, you lose money. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose relationships to a certain extent, or whatever, even with your own race. You know whatever. But every real artist should make a project that's dedicated to their culture.
Mm.
You know, so all those things tie into this.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that too, right? Like that was really the next question I have about creating music by still, but being relevant, but still putting out the message that needs the true message that needs to go out. So when me and you talk, we talk about the need for our people to buy black, but you would tell me and say, but it has to be attractive. How do we make buying black? How do we make supporting our own attractive? Like, and I know you big on that. And you could catch that
Yes.
in the last song that you did, all black owned. So even in that song, you could catch how, you made it attractive and then still inserted those bars of like, we got to do for ourselves. We got to, we got to take care of our own. We got to buy black,
Right.
Yeah.
We
So
go broke because we don't buy black. You know what I'm saying? That type of vibe.
That's
got
right.
Crackers
Yeah.
toe tapping when we're giving the racks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I call it this album is like a curriculum. This is a new age black curriculum. Whereas like you can't talk to a 16-year-old in 2020 the way that you talk to a 16-year-old in 2010. You can't expect them to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like what Nas did is what Nas did. I use Nas as an example because he was always a brother that knew how to kind of like do all. You know what I'm saying? He played in Belly, but he also, you know what I'm saying, he'll teach you some stuff. Every time he's got to spit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that curriculum worked for when it worked or whatever, but it's a new age student now. And my Black Filter, my album, is a part of that new curriculum. Like Pimp a Butterfly is a curriculum or whatever, and that works for when it worked or whatever. But even from 2015, when that dropped 5 years later now in 2020, coming into 2021, it's a completely different time, as we all know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta be able to talk to the young people, hold your integrity. Young people identify with cool because when you were young, you wanted to be cool. You know what I'm saying? If your parents didn't get it, your older siblings or whatever, like y'all weird. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, but y'all felt cool to y'all when, you know what I'm saying, when you were 12, 13, 14, 15, the people that you grew up around that time, like every person that age, every young adult that age or whatever, like they think that they're the coolest. And to a certain extent they are, because their ways are going to be the ways of the time to come when our ways die out. So, what makes us an OG is being able to relate to the people that you care about, not just spitting knowledge at them just to be because you know this and you know everything or whatever. Is like knowing everything and not knowing how to relate it to the person that you're talking to is a waste of time. So I pray that more artists who get it, like Nipsey, he had to get it or whatever, like, so RP is, that brother, so he had to get it. It took time. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning of getting jumped into the Crips, per se, from that time, whatever age that was when he started with the Crips, that to how he left us. That's progress. That's progress. That didn't come overnight. That came from making mistakes, selling drugs to your own people. Not to say he did, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like the things that he's seen or whatever, like you go through a lot of different processes that some of them like people look down upon, but you got to go through this for yourself in order to get to that place of enlightenment where you can relate.
So Trinidad, can you talk to, you mentioned the game and you were in the game, you had to learn for yourself how to navigate the game, how to navigate the industry. And you say you had no help you had no mentor, you had no one to lean on. Can you talk about, and then you talk about your contemporaries. It's like a two-part question. One, when you were making your change or your shift in your thinking, right? In your thinking in terms of going to support more of our people versus supporting the usual fashion, the trendy stuff.
Correct.
Did you talk to any of your contemporaries, or did your contemporaries give you any slack? I mean, what was the feedback if any, from your contemporaries in the game? And then my second question would be more so, you said you had to keep remaking yourself over and over again, and did you suffer from any depression or any trauma during this time for you? Because you mentioned, you're an immigrant, your parents were immigrants, you immigrated to this country, and you get into the game, and the game have no mentors, you have no figures to look up to. So it's like, talk about that.
Right. So to answer your first part of the question, right? That are you referring to like my mindset when it comes to Black-owned business, or just being in the game, period?
Your Black-owned businesses and being in the game, period. You can talk a little bit about both. You can talk a little bit about both, but mainly when you start to make that switch to Black-owned.
Okay. Right. So the switch to being able to like really, like the music is coming out now, right? It's the album come out this Friday, right?
Right. Correct.
But it's been a constant piecing the process and the puzzle together. And I would say that I wanted to make sure, I'm one of those type of people that I like to burn myself first before I tell you to not put your hand in something. Like I take it. You know what I'm saying? I put the arrows in my back or whatever. So I'd rather try to fashion on first. I'd rather take a gamble on this Black-owned designer from Florida, this young kid, 20 years old, that puts together these hats out of different jeans, and see how it make people feel or whatever. I might rock this on somewhere that people taking pictures and people like, oh, what the hell he got on or whatever, and it's corny. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather take that on the chest first or whatever, because if it's bad, well then, hey, it's on me. I didn't recommend it to anybody. It's on me. But if it's good or whatever, then I'll know, because I know what good is, because I've wore pieces from other people that weren't Black, you know what I'm saying, I got praised for, and then people come to me like, oh, but what's that you was wearing? Where you get those shoes from? Where you get that jacket from? Boom, boom, boom. What brand? Who do this? So I don't like to tell people to do things that I haven't done, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so make sure you know your supply before you sell it type thing. And so that is kind of like where I'm at now. I'm at that place where I could recommend you to about 10 different, at least, Black-owned brands that are fire. You know what I'm saying? But because you can't just buy one piece from a brand and be like, they're fire. Because I need to see real business consistency or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not just one hit or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? A real business is something that keeps going. It's not about always dropping the all-go everything every single time, but it's about having a quality level. It's like Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is it the best coffee you ever had every single day? No, but it's at a level that you believe in it, and it's branded so well, you feel comfortable giving your money to them every single day, and whatever, like how people do. So it's the same thing with the experiences that I went through. When it comes to clothes, when it comes to doing business or whatever, just trying out different Black aspects of it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I had to, let me close this door real quick. I gotta close this door, bro. So yeah, they have a little thing in there, I gotta tell you. But yeah, so it's one of those type of things, brother, where I had to go through those experiences, man. And like now, I talk to, when the young ones come and talk to me or whatever, instead of sending them to Versace, I could send them to a Brownstone or a Pale USA or Heron Preston or a Nominate. Like, these are just all different, like, Black-owned brands that are like fire and successful and been successful for the last 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? Doing their thing or whatever. Whereas, like, I'm not sending you to something where they only got one T-shirt that's cool, one jacket that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And they might be done tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? No offense to that person, but we need power, economic power, or whatever. And that comes with consistency in the Black culture. Like, we truly do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just telling I've just been really surrounded by Black-owned designers this last couple of days. So excuse me, like, I kind of sound OD with it, but it's just been my reality for the last couple of days. I was just with my homegirl. They do an eyewear company called Coco and Breezy. You know what I'm saying? And it's very successful. They sell glasses, and they're not aiming to just sell what's so rare and only 20 people got it. No, they're like lens crafters. You know what I'm saying? Two black twin sisters, you know what I'm saying, from Minnesota, you know what I'm saying, gambled on themselves, came out to New York young, and they're killing it. You know, like that type of story, that's what I respect. Those are the type of people I surround myself with. So I keep myself locked into that mode, man, or whatever. Like, you got to surround yourself. Like, my mama always told me that bad association spoils useful habits. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep yourself surrounded by people that help you be the person that you want to be. You know what I'm saying? That you need to be. You know, to help me preach the message that I want to preach, I need to be around people that are talking that type of talk, talking that language. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've done. So it allows me to, when a young person or older person, whoever, if somebody come to me now, I mean, I could put you on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I just put the girls, Sharif, onto We Buy Black last night. I whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because they're very pro-black, but they didn't know about We Buy Black. I whatever, and I was like, and they was like, oh man, you know whatever, because they just moved into a new crib, so they buying different things or whatever. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna grab this detergent, I'm gonna grab them, because you know that's the beauty of it. It's like, I'm not just trying to buy the clothes. Like, now we need everything: the toothbrush, the everything, the soap, the rags, like everything. We want everything. We want a piece of everything, my G, not just the fashion.
That's
You know what I'm saying? I'm a fashion guy. That's my strength. So, of course, I can talk to you from that standpoint. But we need a piece of everything.
That's right.
These buildings behind me, everything. These AirPods in my ear, everything.
Yeah.
We need a part of all that.
See,
And in order to get there, you gotta. In order to get there, we got to keep surrounding ourselves with the people that say like-mindedness or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just getting better at it or whatever. I sound passionate about it because we have this type of conversation. Or whatever, and I want the people. Definitely. I want the people that's, you know, I want the people that's looking to understand that, you know, this is serious, man. Like, you got to gamble on us, but do it smart. I'm not telling you to be stupid or whatever. Do it smart.
Yeah. This is.
And now your second part of the question. Now, I'm sorry, grocery.
No. I was getting ready to say, man. The reason why this is so important is because this is what's causing our death. You know, when you take. You know, and I made this analogy on the first day of New Africa August, you know, of the money, the way that we talk about money circulating, you know, in the body, you have to have blood to circulate. If the blood is not circulating in the body, then certain parts of that body start to shut down. It's the same thing in the economy. The money has to touch the different people. Now, if you take a person, you know, you said like real life, early on, you was talking about real life. Majority of our people working a 9 to 5. Right, we are aware that, you know, COVID-19, you know, shut down almost 50% of Black-owned businesses. Black-owned businesses make up, it's the second largest hiring agent amongst African Americans. So there are a lot of our people out of work. This is a tough time, but then it's also an opportunity, right? There's a big opportunity here when it's time for us to say, look, I don't have a 9 to 5 no more. What am I going to do? Right? Who can I support? Who can I get behind? And this is it caused me to think about, if you take a person, they earning $2,500 a month, and then they live, well, you in LA, I'm not gonna do that. I talk about Atlanta real quick. You know, they a small spot where they paying $1,100. That's 50%.
Correct.
That's almost 50% of what they got so far. But 50%. Amen. As soon as they get their paycheck, in less than 6 hours. So we talk about 6 hours, our dollars gone from the community. This is what happens. In less than 6 hours, we're taking those dollars and we're giving it right to someone else who owned that apartment complex. Then we take the $500 to feed our family and then go to a supermarket, right? We like 70% now. Our money's gone 70%. We take $500, we go to that supermarket and we spend our dollars with them, and 99% of the items in that supermarket is not Black owned. And we may feel better when we go to a supermarket that is Black owned, but still that does not circulate the dollar in the community, that the items within that supermarket have to be Black owned. So, and then you take a few more dollars, right? And then you look at, I need to buy clothing, I need to buy, my gas, my electric, my cell phone bill, all of this. And then we say, well, how is it possible that a people can lose all of their money, majority of their money, within 6 hours? How is that possible? But that's the way. Majority of us are working a 9 to 5. We live in paycheck to paycheck, and everything that we spend our money on, from rent down to detergent, is for the most part is not owned by us. So the fact that we have individuals like yourself that is heavily in the culture, see, because the culture, what it does is that, and what we talk about in New Africa, for building New Africa, we focus in on 4 main areas, right? Business, education, government, politics, and then also our culture. And with you, you have a platform, and those that you are connected with. But I was talking about those of your peers and you connected with. You have this platform to say, look, how many of y'all detergent is black owned? How many of you, all of us talk about buying black and black power and Black Lives Matter, but when we wake up in the morning, is our toothbrush black owned? Right? Let's go on and on and on. Where are we renting our homes at? Let's buy property where the structures that we make so our people can have homes where that 50% of their paycheck go right back into the community within 6 hours. And it's that simple. The simple thing is doing for ourselves. We say buying black, but really, supporting those that support us, supporting those that support our community. It just so happened that we're in a position that black people, we work for our people more than any other group of people work for their own people. Black people have a higher ratio of working for their own people. So we're in a dire time right now where we have to collectively come together, talk about real solutions, beyond just fashion, beyond just politics, but the whole of our culture, the whole of our life. And that's why
everything.
Everything.
No, everything, man. Everything. And what to call it before I forget to go back, Bilal, what you asked about now, the second half of the question.
Yes.
Man. Oh man, bro. Like, to be a creative is to understand the power in being depressed. Because it's human. This world is whitewashed. I'm not white. So with that being said and understood, or whatever, you get to points in confliction, puts you in a place where you're powerless, or whatever. And when you're powerless because of your goddamn skin color, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I would be depressed is because I didn't realize it's because of my skin color. Because I've been so whitewashed, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You when you don't know what the problem is, it's harder to figure out the solution. So you get down on yourself. You know what I'm saying? But in those dark times, or whatever, that I still go through from time to time, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You learn a lot about yourself. You learn how tough you are. You learn, can you get out of this? Are you just gonna drown and drown and drown? Or you gonna start paddling up? You know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing about it, if you don't try, you will die, or whatever. But you can fail upwards. You can fail upwards and try again. Wake up tomorrow and just do it again. You know what I'm saying? Change professions, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if music wasn't for me, then I would do something else. And if that wasn't for me, then I would do something else. You know what I'm saying? Because being a survivor is more important than anything else on earth. And I feel that, like, humans are, especially, we'll put it like this, people here in America, you have to be a survivor because it's a dog-eat-dog type of world.
Unfortunately.
But
Unfortunately.
You know, and it's a gift and a curse with that, because it makes you selfish that sometimes you're so selfish you can't even support your own.
Correct.
Or whatever, because it makes you feel that you have to do everything. You, me, I got this, I got that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And that's the energy. When you ever hear somebody talk about themselves on Instagram or whatever, or they putting up the big racks of money and stuff like that, or whatever, it's like, this me, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're the top of the world. But you know, what's being at the top of the world or whatever, if ain't nobody else up there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also, at what expense are you at the top of the world? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those type of things, they didn't matter. Nobody never taught me this or whatever coming up in school. You know what I'm saying? My parents didn't know no better. You know, my parents didn't know about it. My parents are immigrants from Trinidad and Tobago also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in Trinidad and Tobago, we don't really experience racism. Like, we don't have that type of history because of the way that we gained our freedom. So it's a lot different. You know, it's a lot of Indians, a lot of blacks, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You got a few other races that come through Trinidad, but you know, they know that they're tourists. or whatever. You know, so America is the one place where a tourist becomes like a citizen, like it's their thing after a while. You know, so you come here and you adapt the nature of this place. It's this animal. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, man, or whatever, you know, this game. Oh, I've had my days. You know, I've had my months. You know what I'm saying? 2014 is probably the worst year I've ever had in my life. Period. As a grown man, like just period, ever, like ever. You know, I went through 7 months of depression.
Wow.
7 whole months. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like I was like, man, I don't know if I can't create no more, I might need to die because I don't know what else I'm gonna do. I don't want to go back to what I did. You know what I'm saying? Because going backwards always seems like failure. It always seems like failure. And I'm here to tell people or whatever that if I had somebody to tell me like, hey, bro, why don't you use this time to open, why don't you use this time to why don't you use this time to open your black-owned business that you wanted to do in the first place? That's the only reason you even got into the music shit or whatever. Then I wouldn't have been depressed because I would have had something to do with my mind. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't have nobody telling you or whatever, solution is more important than dwelling, then you dwell on bullshit. And that's what throws us off or whatever, especially when you're playing from behind, because we're playing from behind because of our goddamn skin color. So when you're playing from behind and then you're playing from behind and you're trying to beat out your own, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you kind of set yourself up for failure to a certain extent because how many of us win? And then when you win, what type of win is it? Is it a win for life or is it a momentary win? You know what I'm saying? So all these things matter in the whole conundrum of winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, what type of win did you win? And then if you won by yourself, are you going to continue to try to win by yourself or are you going to build a team?
Right. Build
You know
build a community, man. Build up the
exactly. Like, what
community.
you going to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And these things weren't taught to me or told to me that mattered. Nobody told me that Black Lives Matter. Nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever told me that it mattered. Because I'm thinking that it's just like we got to survive. Like I just got to survive, or whatever. I'm looking at it for like I'm an immigrant. Not that I'm black. I'm an immigrant. Immigrant has its own race. It seems like, you know what I'm saying. Like when you're not from America, or whatever, and you come over here as an immigrant, you're just trying to survive, or whatever. You don't even pay attention that part of it is because you black. You know what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever even met a white immigrant in America, me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because even like a person that's not from here or whatever, like they feel right at home because this is a whitewashed country. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the white race has locked in their ways so deeply rooted into the soil or whatever that it's like it's a hamster wheel now. It's working itself. You know what I'm saying? They don't even got to really work it no more. They just getting the residual. You know what I'm saying? Like they own their masters or whatever. Like it's a great time. It's an incredible time for them for the last 100 years. More. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like, bro, all the work that we put in, all the finessing that we did umpteen years ago, they're always gonna pay off. You got a long way before you beat us. You know, so it's go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's someone in the chat just put something in. I just want to read this one comment. It says we also need to re-educate our people not to be label whores. You want to label whores? I mean, Trinidad. I mean, you could speak on that. I mean, like because from my studies and experience in hip hop, you know, the I think Chuck D coined it. As he coined the labels as the core plantations, corporate plantations. This is a plantation for where they milk you for everything. And if you look at the numbers, they get you everywhere. They get you on Spotify. They get you the title. They treat you better, but still they get you on the streaming. They get you with your vices. So they ask you, well, what's your weakness? Oh, your weakness is women. They get you with the women, or vice versa. Or you know, they get you all types of crazy, and they milk you for everything that you have, and they leave you there. So like for you, like say for instance, for example, Ogo My Chain could have been your last hit. That could be your last hit. It was like we're gonna milk him for what he's worth. He's gonna be a one-hit wonder, and then after that, you won't get no more collaborations. No other artists will look at you. The label won't look at you. You will get your door closed.
Right.
So my opinion before I let you speak on that is, we really need to focus on establishing our own production. I was telling Sharif this before we got on the line that, helping to push our own publishing, helping to publish our artists, helping to get the distribution, publishing and
Yes.
distribution, controlling publishing and distribution of our artists. So therefore they don't feel bad, because I've had conversations with artists, on New Freedom Exchange on the platform that we have. And they came to us and said, well, we feel as though the community doesn't support us. The African American community doesn't support us. So we can't just make music, it's just for one demographic. We can't just do our art for just one demographic. So, can you speak towards that?
Right.
The label whores, as they call it.
So
plantation?
the label whores.
Mhm.
Right. So what to call it? Yes. Once again, that's part of being whitewashed. If Gucci is the top, then as a working man and woman, you want to be able to shop where people who work hard shop, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like a idea of it or whatever. Is like when you're not a fashion person, you're always shopping from a suggestion standpoint, what somebody recommends. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really have your own true personal taste. You kind of wear what's hot.
Right. Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But the person that's controlling the narrative of what's hot is us. Telling you this hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if we're wearing Gucci, you're wearing Gucci. But who's telling us it's hot? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of like we have to understand personal worth. You know what I'm saying? And like stand more on our own ground, stand more on what we like compared to what people keep telling us to like. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the type of things that make people fear me to a certain extent, because I always have my own opinion. I always have my own sense of style or whatever. And that scares people, even your own race or whatever, because they want to be able to put you in something. Go do this, go do that. Oh, you the gold, you the gold, brother, or whatever. Go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, put them in this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And being able to stand your own ground is what allows you to not be a label whore. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got to think about it. We all have our day when we get our money. You know what I'm saying? You get you some money or whatever. You can go buy this. You can go do that or whatever. But until you can go do that, you're looking at other people do it or whatever. So you learning how to do it before you get it, how other people did it. So now when it's your chance and you get it or whatever, you gonna kind of do it something like how they did it or whatever, because you're going off of experience, unless you actually have your own taste or whatever. That's why I care so much about taste or whatever. You don't have to be, like, I could wear this Nina Simone jacket, this Nelson Mandela shirt, this bucket hat or whatever, and I could throw it on with some Ralph Simmons that's a white owned, big white designer or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have to wear all designer. I don't have to. And also, I don't have to promote their stuff when I wear it, referring to these big white designers. I could just promote my jacket. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be good or whatever. But you have to understand, you got to read the room. We got to understand that it don't make sense. You don't have to promote these people's brands like that, because they're not promoting anything for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we literally had to light this place on fire. We literally had to light this place on fire in order to get people to say Black Lives Matter. And you know what I'm saying? That's just wild. That's super wild or whatever. When you look at how tone deaf everybody is, it's disgusting, to be honest with you. But it's a part of the process to a better place, because I don't believe in dwelling on your shortcomings. I believe in believing you. I believe in believing in your growth. You know what I'm saying? Like a new you. You know what I'm saying? What you can be, or whatever. But it's on you still to be it. But I rather more focus on what's the solution to get you out of that. Even for myself, what would help me get out of buying so much? Like, I have a thing for Gucci socks. Like, I love Gucci socks. I bought many Gucci socks or whatever. Even when people. Even when Gucci had that whole thing where they got caught up or whatever, boom, boom, or whatever, like a point that I had to make, because I do another podcast, this type of show about sneakers on another platform. And we had a guest, and that question came up or some of the sort, and I had to explain to him that it's like, I don't even think about the person who runs this brand. I think about the sister who I buy the brand from, because she has to eat. She got to take care of her kids.
Yes.
However, we are not in the position to just go cold turkey to a certain extent, because we don't understand what cold turkey is on the culture as far as supporting ourselves. It's I was like telling somebody to drink lean just to stop. Nah, you know what I'm saying? You got to wean them off of it or whatever, because we're so tied into survival that it's going to take some time for me to say, hey, sister, let me get you a pot of Gucci, man. Come work over here at my spot. Come work at Trinidad's. You know what I'm saying? We got high fashion. You know what I'm saying? We got $1,000 pieces. We got that too, because I can't be mad at somebody that has a taste level like that. If you work hard enough to want to buy $2,000, $10,000 jackets, whatever that is, that's your money at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But it's important to understand that same money that you put in to labels, you can put into something that helps the bigger picture. But the bigger picture has to make sense to you. If it don't click for somebody, man, it don't make sense for them to support it, because they're supporting it for the wrong reasons. I think that you want people to support the movement where they actually feel like, oh, I know what this movement is about, or whatever. I feel like when you got too many blind people supporting the movement, it's easy to get infiltrated with bullshit and mess up the whole thing, because you think you got everybody riding behind you, and then when the war start, half your army disappeared because they're like, oh, I didn't know this is what I signed up for. You got to know what you signed up for when you get into this. So, I mean, to the label whore thing, you know what I'm saying? I get it, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to, you can't tell the child to, not do this and don't have something to counterpart it with.
Sure, yeah,
Or whatever.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That type of thing. Or
No,
whatever.
alternative.
Yeah, some type of alternative that's interesting. Not you can't just be like, no, stop eating that candy, eat these carrots. No. It gotta come different. Like, it gotta come different. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it in a smoothie. Like, just come different. You know what I'm saying? It definitely gotta come different, man. Or whatever, especially in this day and age.
At the same time, man, we also, and this is what I was, putting out this message, that we got to be careful, when we burn down, it may be a Walmart, it may be a Target, but then the very next day, we don't even have a place where we're going to eat, so you're right. The transitioning, we got to be very careful with how we transition. It happens in all aspects of our life, because if we're reactionary, like something happened and then we just take a reaction, but there's no group planning, we'll make big mistakes for our community. Huge.
What war was one like that? What war? What war? You can't find a war that was ever won like that. You got to be smart. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, to even have this conversation, this might, raise some eyebrows, but we don't just only talk to Black people and do business with Black people. We have white counterparts that we deal with and we respect and we got love for, and they got love for us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're not trying to erase people out of your race or whatever. We're just trying to make sure that we get the respect that we deserve for the future, because for us, to a certain extent, it is what it is. But we want that future. We want the future youths, Blacks and whites and Asians and Spanish, to see each other on the same level. And in order to do that, we got to make the sacrifices now.
Yeah. See, when somebody is, if it's like a reaction, somebody abusing you, if you get to a level of freedom or you conquer them, the worst thing you could do is go out and start abusing other people, right? We don't want to be that. We understand that the world is global. Everyone is doing business with everyone. Everybody's not doing business correctly, and I think that a superpower, for us as a people, is that we are merciful. We may look at that as a weakness, but it's not. No,
it's not strength. It's not strength. Black people are the most merciful people on this earth. If I'm wrong, God will deal with it. But that's what I believe.
It is a strength. It's a strength because we are. Here's the thing, we are rising into position of power. People who have held position of power for so long, they're collapsing at this very moment. They're even having more trouble in their households and with their families. Their children are rising up against them. cursing them. They're afraid of their children when they go to sleep. They don't know if their daughter who got a Black Lives Matter shirt on gonna, hurt them while they sleep. So a lot of families who have been oppressing people for so long, they're catching hell right now. So this is a time where you see that the people who have been put down, shut out at the very low, they're now coming to a place where they almost on equal playing field with those who have ruled the world for the last few hundred years. So, even when we talk about this topic, New Africa, when we look at those that came from, Jersey, and they came to America and established New Jersey, we was talking about immigrants. They came from, Hampshire, and they came here and established New Hampshire. We are new people here in America where we need to establish our own life. What does that look like? What should we be talking about when we rapping? What should our political stance be as a people? And how should we, when we do business, how should we do business? Do we pattern ourselves off of the way Toyota does business? Or do we establish our own way of doing business with the best practices? How do we educate our youth? How do we educate our community, right? When we have our hospitals, what should our hospitals look like? What should our restaurants look like? When we cook, how should we cook? So, we have to start taking taking control of our life, of our circumstances. And I wanted to bring that up, to sort of segue into LA. I love LA, right? LA supports the Black movement heavy. Like, people don't understand how strong, like when we look on the backside of We Buy Black, there's a lot of orders that come out of LA. A lot of designers and businesses that support us that are coming out of LA. You got, I want to give a shout out to New York. New York, both of y'all from New York, right? I know Trinidad. I know Trinidad.
Yeah, I grew up in New York too. When I left Trinidad,
what part? What borough?
So yeah, when I left Trinidad or whatever, we came to Queens, man.
That's where I'm at. Yep, Queens.
Nice,
yep.
nice.
Yep.
Yep. Queens get the money, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, shout out to New York. Shout out to the DC, DMV area for supporting Black businesses very heavily. Shout out to Chicago, Detroit. Definitely shout out to Atlanta. Carolinas, Florida, all across that area there. Houston is big on buying Black right now. Houston is blowing up with buying Black right now. And then LA, of course. And then, of course, there's other pockets as well of people who are, who historically have set a platform for us to do business with each other. But, I wanted to kind of bring light to some of those businesses. I know you rocking a few businesses today, Trinidad. You in LA, I know they got some Black-owned restaurants. If we in LA, where could we go? Who should we go there and support? What we got out there?
So you got Comfort LA. You got Unique Socks. You got helicopter above me. You got clothing brands like you got Union LA, which is a Black-owned clothing store, and I'm telling you, from a person who loves clothes like I do, like they're one of the best clothing stores in America, and it's Black-owned. Like everybody, like Asians know, white people know, like Union is. They're the truth. Like they're the truth. Like they one of the top of the tops, and they Black-owned. I couldn't believe that it's Black-owned. When I was like, I've been shopping there for a minute, and I didn't even, because mind you, I've always been shopping, but actually understanding that Black-owned businesses are trying to support them, and then realizing who I was already shopping with that was Black-owned, he was like, what? Black people own it? So like Union, definitely. It's a vegan restaurant out here in LA, Black-owned.
I think I know.
They are the truth. I can't think of the name right now. They are the truth. Or whatever. Who else? What else? You got a clothing brand called Corporate. That's where I got my Union.
Someone said Soulful Vegan. Is that what's called? Soulful Vegan?
Soulful Vegan.
There you go.
Soulful Vegan.
Yeah.
Soulful Vegan. Man, they the truth. They really the truth, y'all. Like they're good. Like
first place I sat down and ate at, Soulful Vegan.
They're good, man. Like I'm not even gonna lie, they're good because I didn't think that soul food could be vegan. You see what I'm saying? Like I ate vegan here and there, boom, 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 but I didn't think because we come from the South. Also, because I grew up so heavily in the South, even though I lived all these places or whatever. It's like, when I know soul food, I know, Busy Bees. You know what I'm saying? That type of Mary Max per se, different things like that in Atlanta or whatever. So like when I come to LA, where things is, people say it's a little more bougie, but bougie is a perspective. or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, not everybody trying to take care of themselves. Not everybody want to be vegan, want to eat vegan or whatever. These are just people that jumped on the curve early to understand that eating better for yourself as you get older helps you, my G. It don't just help my pockets, it helps you, the human. You know what I'm saying? We all need to have our version of some type of vegan something in our dietary schedule or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to try and eat healthy because it's important or whatever, you know. So who else? Who else in LA, man?
It's a Kick Buzz.
I had that's in Redondo Beach. I haven't had
Beach.
them. I haven't had them. Yeah, you got Jay Looney's. Jay Looney's, that's out there in the OC. They're legit. You got also Caribbean restaurants out there. You got Taste of the Caribbean. They were from New York, but they came out to LA. A brother from, if I'm not mistaken, he's from Barbados. Who else?
It should be like a challenge, man, because you killing it right now. You know, it should be like
a challenge. Well, you know, in this Black History Month, I did a Black-owned restaurant every single day in Black History Month. I challenged myself to do that, which was really tough or whatever, because you realize that after a certain time, all Black-owned restaurants are done. All of them are done. And then when you think about healthy choices, don't exist. It's like limited. You know what I'm saying? It's like one healthy choice compared to 20 unhealthy choices. You know what I'm saying? So it's these type of things that we really got to stay focused on and pay attention to, man. Sure. It really is important for us to see the bigger picture, not just to have a restaurant, you know what I'm saying? That's a blessing, but to also pay attention to the menu or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that we understand we're taking care of our people because we want to take care of our people, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, give people a balanced menu. Simply Wholesome. Yes. Oh my. That's why I shot the Black-owned video there at Simply Wholesome or whatever. They're Trinidadian. They've been on Slauson since 1982.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They're a vegan restaurant, a vegan Caribbean restaurant, and a grocery store. Both. And like a legit grocery store, not like just like a little corner with some things and some cans on, like a real grocery store. You know what I'm saying? And they've been there, like I said, forever. You know, I shot the video there for Black, part of it there. You know, who else? I mean, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a lot, man. It's definitely a whole lot of different people, man, who work hard.
You bodied that one.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. And I gotta do better. Me personally, I still, like, I'm not perfect. Like, I still got to do better. You know what I'm saying? But also, that's a part of the process. We got to do better because convenience is what makes the biggest difference in business.
Yeah.
When you need it now, where can you go? When you want coffee now, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to drive that extra 10 miles to get to the Black-owned coffee shop? Or are you going to go to the Starbucks that's literally on the 30 corners leading up to that Black one?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Convenience, man. Like, it's all a part of the process, you know? So, you know, and then also read the room and judging each other. That's the last thing I think I would say. Read the room or whatever. It's like, just because somebody's not doing what they're supposed to yet, that don't mean for us to put them down, because the other race ain't putting them down. The other race want their money or whatever. So they keep on like, hey, you can come to us, boom, boom, boom. But we get so harsh on each other when we don't do what we're supposed to be doing right off the muscle. And like, that kind of kills the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want my daughter, per se, to stop smoking cigarettes or whatever, I ain't gonna talk to her like a dog. I ain't gonna talk to her like she ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because or whatever, like, she gonna resent me too, and then just leave and go smoke cigarettes at somebody else's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to actually get across to her, you know what I'm saying, then I got to understand how to talk from a place of love and caring, a place of helpfulness compared to a place of judgment.
Yeah, most definitely, man, most definitely. So it's 7 o'clock. We'll take a couple of more questions, man. You know, we got our brother Trinidad James here. You know, this brother means a lot for the movement. We're going to always support him, you know, not just with our words, but with our money. We want to call all of our, you know, people who are listening, our audience, our community, to know that he's dropping his album this Friday.
Friday, the 14th, August 14th.
August 14th, he's dropping this album. We want to go and cop that, support that. How
Thank you.
can people get to this? Let them know.
So Black Filter, that's the name of it, and it
Okay.
comes out on all streaming platforms. Of course, iTunes. I'll be selling my vinyls also, like personally through my own website. I'm launching a new business called All Go Everything X Y and Z, where it's going to be like basically the future of IKEA meets the dollar store to a certain extent, where you can buy. It's like Alibaba for gold items.
Hmm.
You said all gold. You said all gold everything. Dot what? What was it?
X, Y, and Z, or whatever. I'll be launching that website really soon. Like we're prepping it right now. I already own the domain. You know, that's going to be really interesting because I feel that when you think gold, you should come buy from Trinidad James, because I am gold. You know, so I've done that for a long time, and I'm a trusted voice. I've put people on so many other things that weren't Black owned.
Yeah.
For so long or whatever, and nobody's ever came like, man, you put me on some bullshit. I've never, ever. I take pride in putting people on things that's going to help them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I never ask people all gold everything, not good, all gold. I was just talking to the thing they put in the chat.
Correct that.
Yeah, and you know, I never, and it could be a gift and a curse. I never ask people to support me because I always hope that my action speaks loud enough for you to feel good enough to support me. But this is me because I know I'm jumping into new ventures and new business where it's like, guys, I'm fully independent. You know, I do everything out my own pocket myself. I whatever, you know what I'm saying? I've been through that ringer, I whatever, of like what we talked about Bilal, where it's like people will turn their back on you when you jump into this chapter right here. I whatever. I experienced that, I go through that. It puts me in different places of depression, but I deal with that because I know the bigger picture. We got to work. We got to survive. You know what I'm saying? I came to America a survivor, and I plan to continue surviving, but I wanted to be off of things that actually matters and things that are the truth. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the link won't work right now, guys. The site is not up yet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's on the way. Just letting people know that's trying to go right to it right this very second. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But when it's time, you know, Sharif, I'll reach out to you. What I do want people to use right now, before we jump out of here, though, is I started the thing I tell you about, Sharif, where I made you can go to my IG and click on the tab, and you can do a 3D animation whenever you're at a Black-owned business, and you could use my filter to highlight that Black-owned business and then post it, and I'll repost it because we started something similar, taking a chapter of you guys' books for I'm Really Black-owned on IG to support Black-owned businesses. So it ties back to why I was saying, like, we got to make the experience cool. So bringing AR, that augmented reality, bringing that to Black-owned businesses. So you can go to my page and you can click on the filter and you'll see a 3D Black-owned tag pop up, and you can use it. Or it comes in 3 different colors. You got the African flag, you got all black, and you got all gold. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It just makes the experience cool. People love to use filters anyway. You know what I'm saying? Use a Black-owned filter, please.
That's right. Shout out also, man, to our brother Killer Mike. You know, I heard you, mention him a little earlier. But shout out to the brother Killer Mike. Even for connecting us.
Amen.
Also,
amen. He didn't waste no time. I hit him. I said, man, I really want to connect with We Buy Black. He said, I got you. You know what I'm saying? When you could do that for your brother, do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't think twice about it. Just do it.
That's right.
Or whatever. And trust that the person that you're putting in contact with somebody don't, take your kindness for weakness.
That's right.
They live up to their end of the bargain.
That's right, man. And look, we not in competition with each other.
Man.
Because there's room for everyone to eat. Sometimes at the end of the day, we got to get behind. I just think that's what holds us back too. We kind of shoot ourselves in the foot with that whole principle of like we have to compete. I mean, like healthy competition is good, but then when we get to that point where we should be able to support each other, man. We got to big each other up. So.
Amen.
Right. Well, look, y'all, it's New Africa August. Today's the 9th day. I hope you all enjoyed the webinar that we had today. Excellent brothers here. Please keep in contact with them. Please support them in everything that they're doing. Make sure everybody tune in tomorrow. We have another panel discussion tomorrow. As I mentioned, we talk about business, we talk about culture, we talk about education, and we talk about government. These are the 4 aspects of our life that control our life, no matter what, and all the other things sort of fall in between there. These are the things that make up our life. And as you can see, Trinidad talked about the food, talked about the clothing, talked about the art when it comes to rap and song. All of this is a part of the culture. So this brother is heavy in it. He knows it very well. And he has a strong platform where he can influence a lot of people. So make sure you get this message out to all of your children, you know, who grew up listening to this brother, listening to his music, and is very familiar with him. We don't want them to just, hear the song, those songs, and then be done with it. We want them to also hear his message, what he got to say to you, you know, and a very, very powerful message, a very, very liberating message. So we thank you, brother, and we appreciate you. And Bilal, we appreciate you, man. You know, as always.
Yes, sir.
Coming on. But thank you all. Make sure you all tune in. Make sure you all subscribe, and we'll catch you all tomorrow.
Hey,
peace,
thank you,
peace.
gentlemen. Be good,
thank
brother.
You, Trinidad.
Bilal, when I'm out in New York, brother, let's get some food, man.
All right. I'll hit you up on IG, man.
Let's hit a black on. Let's hit a black on spot.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro, for sure.
No more. Put me on some on Queens, man. All
right, yeah, you already know, man. You already know.
Love, brother. Y'all be good,
Peace.
man. Thank you.
You too.
Peace.